Hey, welcome to the Old Boar. This is my new series on City Skylines 2 for slower computers. And because we're not going to build out a huge population, I'm going to go ahead and take this map here. I've looked these over and this one looks really nice. We're going to call this Game Session Slower Computers. And I'm not going to play with money because we're not going to be able to get the assets we want unless we're a megalopolis. And we need those. And if you want to see how to play the game and get it up to, let's say, 100,000 in population and maybe making money, you can check out my first series where I just played the game and I did fairly well at it. I think everything else is okay. We want to continue on with the tutorials where we left off. Now, when you're playing with unlimited money, you can go ahead and purchase out these tiles, the tiles that you want. And we're not going to need all of these out in the ocean, let's just say these. And probably not all of these in the mountains. Can't build on that. Might as well not select those. Guess we better select these. That's a starting square. Now you are going to see those white lines when you're building, but we can purchase those later. So to begin a new city, this is a 4-lane road. We're going to take a stretch of one-way road off over here towards the river. Right about here. Let's just go ahead and do it this way. Yeah, so I started playing City Skylines 1 when it first came out. And over the years, they added lots of mods and assets. Of course, most people know that. And let's see, let's grab this and see if we can get it down to the road without stretching this. Okay, we'll just do it this way. And the game got slow the more your population grew. That was City Skylines 1. You could get out to about 60,000 population. At least on my computer, that's when the game would start to slow down. And so I'm very good at that particular situation. That's actually groundwater there, but we don't want this near that. We want this over here on this little area here. We could do this. We could start to do this now that we know how to play the game. I didn't really pay a lot of attention to the details in my first series because I was more concerned about learning how to play the simulation, making sure that my citizens were happy and I had enough money to do what I wanted to do. And we want to add all of these upgrades right away. Let's see. How does that work? That's okay. Now in City Skylines 1, you also had to be very careful with the amount of nodes. This is the recycling center. Super nice assets. And we could put this groundwater over here. And if we need another one, we'll put another one in. And so on my first City Skylines 2 series, I got out to 100,000 in population, and the traffic in the Sims came to almost a standstill, very slow movement. And I tried mods, and they worked for a while until they were not updated, I guess, with the patch for the game. And I might pick that city back up whenever things get better for the game. But right now, we still want to play the game. And I have a really good idea about how to do that. Simply because of my experience with City Skylines 1, I was constantly looking for creative ways to get more detail out of the game and be able to play it. And so we're going to take a lot of those concepts and bring them right over to City Skylines 2. And one of the things is you want to think about where you're going to put your connected cities, and you want to get your rail infrastructure in first. That takes a lot of CPU, nodes, and the rail infrastructure is my favorite part of the game. And also thinking about where your cargo is going to be. So this little area right in here looks perfect for a little town. And it is about 5 minutes away from this little town, which could be our bigger town. This is where the starting square is. This could be the big city, and we're going to try to make it look like a bigger city. And so I'm thinking about 20,000 in population here, and probably 5 over in here, and 5 over in here. and maybe a little bit of population, maybe out in this area over here. I don't know. This looks really nice, actually. And he's got rail lines that are leading up to, this looks like the entrances of the rail terminal. This is the rail terminal. There's a couple of these. We don't want the rail terminal there. This will be another little rail station, and we're going to go ahead and make a small little population up in here. And this will be just a passenger station that gets your people down to this population. We're going to have 4 little connected populated places. One over here, one back in here, this one, and this one. And this is our rail connection here. It's coming in from the outside. So we're going to take this rail connection probably all the way out to the edge of the map. This way. So now that we have a plan, we can start to build out this little population. And whatever the district calls it, that's what it's going to be called. This is a game session for slower computers. And hopefully this infrastructure here will take care of our city. The entire map. We might have to put trash collection out to those, but maybe a landfill. And thinking about making things look more real, we'll extend this out a bit. And then we'll take this main road out this way toward the mountain. And then just like that. And we want all of the big buildings, and especially those that give services to the city. We want to use all of that. That's one reason we're playing without money. The other reason is after you've played City Skylines for a while and you learn how to make money, you know, there's a point that you come to where you don't need money anymore. You have plenty of it. And so I'm a city builder. I like to build. And being concerned about money, after you've learned how the game works, it's kind of a it's a distraction. And from what I know about City Skylines 2, even if the actual economy of the game was working more realistically, I still wouldn't want to play with money. And that's one thing, if you're kind of frustrated with that, well, just don't play with it. I know you can go through these. Super little medical center. It's on a little hill, but that's okay. You could move it. Now that it's all connected together, you can just move it over. You might want to move this over. It's not so wonky in here. It's actually still just a little bit wonky there, but that's all right. That's City Skylines 2. And we're not complaining about it. You know, just play City Skylines 2 like you would City Skylines 1 without the detail, like you would play the vanilla game, and not worrying so much about the problems. You know, if I worried about all the problems in the world, you know, you can go crazy doing those kinds of things. I'm not trying to give you life advice or anything here, but it's a video game. Roll with it. You know, if you think about the massive database that's behind this simulation, there's no way they can work on making this better without a large user base with data that's coming in from all of those users. They have to have that. They didn't prematurely launch the game. Listen to me. I work in tech. I understand databases. I work with them all day long, and I know that you can't launch something of this magnitude with as much as it pretends to be, which it's not. Can't launch something of this scale and not do it in a way that you can gather data from your user base in order to get the data that you need to fix the things that you need to fix. And everything cannot work in the beginning. It just can't be balanced. very, very complicated systems can't be balanced on launch. It's just not possible. Here we have a little police car. I want to see this. Now that is just so cool. The roads are cool. The lights are cool. The assets are way better. And the interface of what you get with City Skylines 2 and the kinds of things it pretends to eventually do. They had to launch it in order to get it rolling. And they just are relaxed and kick back and taking all the flack from the users because they know what they're doing. They weren't lazy. They weren't trying to get money necessarily. They know the game is going to make money, and as soon as all the bugs are worked out and it starts to work better, people are going to want to play it. Right now, a lot of people don't want to play it. But this series is for you that want to play it now and continue to grow and learn. And I'm not going to belabor this issue too much. I think we're going to go ahead and put this in just because I didn't get to see this. This is a big fire station. I'm not for sure if I want to put this big of a fire station in, but we could. It's not going to serve the whole area because it won't be able to get out to those smaller populations to put out a fire. They don't cruise around looking for fires, but I haven't seen it, so I did want to get to see it. It's awesome. Maybe I'll just leave it just because it's cool. Let's see what all the upgrades look like. It's just a cool looking building, and we can actually get this cool looking building in. Now we need water. Did we get water? Is this not connected over here? It needs an upgrade. Says it's connected. Why would it not be connected? It is. They're gone. So enough said about the problems with City Skylines 2. You know, it's nothing to cry about. It's nothing to be disappointed about. And if I want to do heavy detailing and all that kind of thing, I go back to City Skylines 1. I'm still having fun with City Skylines 1. Now I have 2 video games. I like these tools. This is going to be a little hard to build on here. So school is next, and you know, I like to keep these things. I think this is more likely. to be school out here. Just getting it going in this direction. Schools. Put this little thing in here. Maybe behind it. And this as well. I like to stay with the same kinds of trees. And now we need to get some population in here. Now the way I want to do the population is a little tedious. And the reason that I want to do this way, I'm going to put 4 spaces between the houses. And I'm going to make those houses 6. And every once in a while I might do a 4. And I'll show you how I'm going to do it on the other side. And I'm doing this for a few reasons. For one, it's going to look a little bit more realistic for this area, I think. And you can do it this way. This is spacing 4 on the other side of the street. It's not going to end up becoming perfect unless you put another 4 section in here. But even this random kind of spacing. And now on the other side of the street, I want to do it this way. And you'll see what it looks like when it turns out, when they start to come in. Oops, this is not the right. I'm not going to put houses on the corners. And we're going to see what parks look like here. This is a park. Super nice. And that little bit of space between the houses gives it more realism, but what we're also doing is filling in space without necessarily augmenting the population too much, because I'm thinking about 30,000 is what my computer can handle. So you're probably going to play the simulation and figure out how much your computer can handle. My computer can handle 100,000. However, it's pushing it to the limit. And then when I want to continue to add infrastructure on top of that, it just slows even more. Here's our first citizens. We want to see this. My favorite part of the game. One of my favorite parts of the game. There they are. Woman and dog. Sheridan's, Velasquez's, the Sawyers. These are the muscle cars that come with the San Diego theme. You know, these are so cool, these assets, and everything else about this interface. It's the beginnings of something really great. What they have planned, I guarantee you they did not expect everything to go perfectly on launch. And they knew what the issues were. Let's just say they had an idea. They needed massive amounts of data, user data, in order to find out. So this is the beginning of our little town for slower computers. Thanks for watching The Old Boar, and we'll see you in the next time. Take care now.